She knows the plan. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock, Carol Ann Baldwin is in the studio and ready to talk to you about your lawn, your garden, and anything else that grows outside. The phone number, if you'd like to call Carol Ann, is 622-9622. If you're not familiar with this show, Carol Ann is a master gardener, and that's not easy to get that title. So be sure to, if you have any questions, especially if you have a new, like you're new to the area and things don't grow here the way they do in Montana. So Carol Ann will straighten you out. They don't even grow the way here they do in Georgia. So,
same. Yeah,
I've learned
exactly.
this. Everything I know, I learned from you. So the phone lines are open. Thank you.
Well,
good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Yeah,
Good.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, yesterday was an interesting example of how a tropical storm could just pop up, cross the state, and basically we didn't have to worry about it.
It was far enough south of us that we had gorgeous weather.
Yeah.
And again today, it's just magnificent.
And maybe that's why.
And it is why
it
pulled some of that moisture away from us, and we've seen that before. I mean, we've seen them where they've sort of hugged the East Coast or something, or the West Coast, and we end up with beautiful weather, and everybody's going, where's there a tropical storm? Where's this small hurricane or whatever it is? And it just happens to be the way storms work. You know, it just pulls that moisture.
Yeah.
We were on the right side of it.
And usually we hear about these things like 2 weeks in advance.
Well, this one popped up because of that cold front.
Just all of a sudden.
The rain we had the other day was part of an actual cold front that does, cold fronts don't usually make it down into Florida in summer months. They don't. It does. Watch the Weather Channel. You'll see the way the jet streams and stuff move, and they just don't come down here. But somehow or another, that one got pushed down far enough, and where it was, it just happened to spawn that tropical, the rotation there in the Gulf. But as you noticed, it popped up right there at the mouth of the Tampa Bay. Pretty much right down there. So it wasn't far offshore. So it just kind of came on through with just high enough winds. And that's probably, it was all stirred up, boom, 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 causational. Had 3 or 4 different things that just made that optimum.
So I have a question about that. All right. There's a storm over salt water. It pulls that water up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does that salt water come back down?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that do to the...
It can do some damage to landscapes. Where we're at, generally not much, but coastally, yes. Because just the rains that even blow in off the surf and things. But then again, those who live on coastal areas have to deal with that on a daily basis. Just the wind blows salt off the ocean and things into landscapes. So they're looking for plants, and yes, the University of Florida, and I'm sure other coastal or other universities, IFAS type things up and down the East Coast or in West Coast, have listings of plants with a salt tolerance so that it can handle, and that's what you're going for, plants that can tolerate a high salt. Otherwise, they just won't thrive. A good example of something that actually possesses a good salt tolerance would be an oleander. We grow oleander shrubs here and have a big problem with the oleander caterpillar, which will defoliate them. You get the really cool looking oleander moth. They call it a polka dotted wasp moth kind of thing. It looks like a polka dotted wasp,
really?
But it's a moth. But on the East Coast or on the coast near the salt water, they don't have that problem because that salt air, I think, just makes it to where at least it's not as big of a problem.
Yeah.
So,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
That's why you have to go to school to study all this stuff, right?
Yeah, you learn it all brand new.
All right, you do have a phone call.
Fantastic.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry and Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Frank.
I would tell you that the human weatherman just doesn't know everything.
No, they don't.
I speak from fact. Twice I've been on Gulf of Mexico when unpredicted weather caused me much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, both times I made it home.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And I know who makes the weather.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Larry and Carol Ann.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Oh, that's true. I mean, trying to predict weather, it's still an inaccurate science. I mean, they do what they can, and even with today's modern technology, you don't know. You just have to try to go by, what they are trying to offer you. And of course, at this time of year, I always laugh. You see the weather report and it'll say 50% chance of rain. And I kind of go, yeah, it's summertime. We have a 50-50 chance of rain from the
That's right.
1st of June
Right.
until about the 1st of September.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
After the 1st of September, it might drop down to maybe a 30 or 40% chance of rain on any given day till about the 1st of October. And then it begins to drop down, lower and stay more consistent on less rain versus more. This morning it was wonderfully cool and overnight. And I thought for sure the humidity would have been down. But no, when I looked at my phone, it was at 96% humidity. If that humidity would have been down, it would have been downright chilly at 70 degrees.
Yeah.
It was very pleasant, and of course that's one of those little things that gives you that hint to come. Even though it was causational from the cold front and the tropical
I see what you mean.
storm,
Yeah.
it was just one of those
Robin
little things
said
that go and.
similar thing this morning. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
it's
August 1st, and we're done
Yeah,
with
here
summer.
we go. And actually, that's what my husband says. What is it, the 1st of fall? I said, no, it's the 1st of August. We got another month and a half for fall to get here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, one of those kind of things that people have to learn how to deal with it when we're treating, and our summer months can be harsh on a landscape, not being able to fertilize, having fungal issues come through, having pest issues come through, just because those conditions are ripe. Moisture, warmth, all of that just makes a stew pot for all of these different kinds of issues. But you can work with it. You're never going to win. You're never going to win. Now, if you want to win, concrete it all, spray paint it green, and stick some plastic flowers in. That's about the only way you'll win. But even then, that concrete's going to get algae and mold on it, and you'll have to still clean that off.
Well, it'll look green then. You'll
You'll get the green. Well, but you get the black stuff on it, and you still got to clean that off. So just realizing that it can be difficult, but you learn how to work with it. And you can still have a nice looking landscape. You can have your little bit of turf or as much turf as you want, and just realizing perfection's never going to happen. It can't.
One thing I wanted to mention, Joe Martone is asking us to mention that you can actually have your name mentioned on Carol Ann's show.
You can sponsor
by
our
sponsoring
show.
the show, and don't talk to us about that because we'll get the information wrong. But if you call the station, talk to Joe or Tish. They can tell you how you can get Carol Ann to say this show is brought to you by
your name, logo, and slogan.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think they do put the logo on the YouTube page.
Could be.
I'm sorry,
on
the web page.
Web page, right?
Yeah. Speaking of the internet, you have a Facebook page for
Yes.
this show, and
Right.
I invite listeners to be part of that. It's a fun group. I had fun this morning posting my update on my apple tree and a coffee cup.
And Kathy Snyder posted some froggies on there. And
Some what? Frogs?
Yep.
I didn't see the frogs.
The froggies are on her citrus tree.
Oh, okay. But I wanted to ask you about something else she posted.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know I did this off the air, so this is really, I'm just repeating something for the sake of the listeners.
Right.
So I was asking, she had a picture of a leaf and a bug on the leaf and lots of holes in the leaf.
Yeah.
And so, and here's why I questioned it. She wrote, yay, like she was happy.
Oh, yeah, that this buggy's eating her plant because that's the air potato and the air potato vine. And the little red beetle there is, he is imported and he is the consumer of the air potato. They will eat the air potato, preventing that air potato vine from reproducing itself.
So is the air potato an invasive species?
Yes, it is.
Is the beetle eating it an invasive species?
No, actually, it's not because
okay.
the only thing it really eats, now it will go after somebody's sweet potato vine too.
Oh, okay.
So, but usually your air potato is in an area that's wooded or away from things. That's why that air potato has a chance to take over. So, but they do fly. They are bright red with a black head, and they are voracious eaters, which is fantastic. The larvae, as well as the adult, will consume the leaves, and they do prevent them. They do enough damage that it prevents that plant from making the little bulbils, the little air potato that will drop to the ground and fall, starting another generation. It's not necessarily stopping the tuber that's already underground from reproducing, but if it can knock it back enough times, it can slow that down and probably eventually kill that out. But preventing the next generation is a big thing, eventually killing it out over time. The only issue we seem to have up here in Central Florida is that they're very slow to come back. Last year, I did not have very many of the beetles show back up in my yard, but this year they're back. I was seeing a lot more damage this year than I did last year, and so I too am very tickled that they're back and munching away.
I don't see the frogs on here.
Okay, maybe that was on my regular Facebook that she posted. Bring your frogs over to the Facebook page, to the in the garden. She just posted them for fun.
Yes. I had a huge frog. Well, I guess huge. It was big to me.
Yeah.
In my porch.
Oh, probably a good Cuban tree frog. Not good, but
no,
a big...
it wasn't a tree frog. It was
a toad.
Yeah,
toad on the
kind that
floor.
just jumps on the ground. Yeah. All right, I think we're up against the break. So let's take that break. The phone lines are open if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. The show is an hour long. Carol Ann is here to answer your questions about your gardens. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and some intervals of sunshine this Tuesday with a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the area, high 87 to 91. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with a shower or thunderstorm along the coast, low 71 to 75. Times of clouds and sun for Wednesday with a hit or miss thunderstorm, a high 87 to 91. Thursday, more clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you or a loved one is suffering with knee, shoulder, neck, back pain, or tennis elbow and would like to learn how to get out of pain, go to Regenetic.com. Then listen in on the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to the people that give you the regenerative medical solutions to your pain. Regenetic, first and third Thursdays, 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. The Source, Regenetic.com.
If you find an animal or a bird that needs help, call Animist Foundation at 352-843-6379. They will come and get the animal if you can't take it to them. High school students and those with court-ordered community service can earn required hours in this rewarding environment. And veterans who share a bond with animals and parents who have been through mental or physical trauma are especially welcomed. Families, clubs, and tourists can arrange for tours of Animist without driving for hours or miles. Consider volunteering. Animist needs you.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
The entire world watched. They watched each step down the rungs of that small ladder, one after another, and waited with great anticipation for that last step.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
At that moment, humanity saw the impossible become the possible. And today, the sky is not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
All right. 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, the phone lines are open. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to answer your questions. Carol Ann is a master gardener, so if you have any gardening questions, whether it's about the plants, the bugs, the critters, the fertilizer, the mulch, the rules.
The rules, yeah.
Anything you need to know. The number to call to find out is 622-9622. And maybe you're a professional master gardener yourself and you don't have any questions.
Right.
Well,
but you've got a hint or something that you...
just call and say hi.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of stuff we can always learn off of each other.
Can I tell you
that's it. Yeah.
something that was in the news earlier in the week? Well, that was yesterday. Okay, maybe it was Sunday. NASA scientist Dave Williams has found 40 moon trees, and he's looking for more. These are the trees that grew from seeds that were taken to the moon and brought back.
Okay.
I'm not so sure why. What that
They wanted to find out what
would
effect
happen?
on germination or anything like that. Would the zero gravity, any radiation that may have entered, and things like that, would that have affected germination?
And Robin and I saw one up in one of the state parks.
Yeah.
In Perry. Does that sound right?
I want to say, yeah, I remember you telling me about
my
it. Yeah, I want to
gosh.
say, yeah, I think you're right, somewhere up there.
But anyway, I guess he knows about that one.
Right. Sure.
I mean, if we found it, I'm sure he knows about it.
Right.
All right, we do have a phone
Oh,
call.
fantastic.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Boy, I love this cool front, huh?
Yeah. It's not going to last long, but...
I'm going up to Wisconsin Thursday for a short vacation for a couple, 3-4 days, and
Right.
According to the Weather Channel, we might not hit 70 up there during the daytimes and the upper 40s at night. I don't know if I really want it that cool or not.
Yeah, make sure you pack a sweater.
I think I'm going to have to. Yeah, it's living up there all most of my life. It's not unusual to get cool weather any time of the year. I can remember, and even in July already, we've had where the highs were only in the upper 50s. And it happens every so often. But
Sure.
It's nice when those fronts do get down this far, which is unusual. Not so much the temperature, but the humidity goes away.
Oh, yeah. Well, even with us this time, it wasn't the humidity. The humidity was still high this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad that little tropical storm that was a little 100 miles further north yesterday. We could have used the 3-4 inches of rain without any problem.
Well, we still got plenty of time into the season still, and it was kind of nice actually to have a few days, even though they had been calling for rain, that we actually didn't get any, and had a chance that some of this that we have gotten will soak in, so that the next rains we get, maybe we won't be quite so saturated, at least at the topsoil level, because I know our lakes, rivers, and streams are definitely not breaching their banks yet, so.
Yeah. My sister lives down in Tampa, and I called her yesterday, and she said, well, it was really raining pretty hard down there. But it was funny, when I was out in my backyard, when I looked to the south, you could see the cloud line where the storm was,
Right.
But we were yet mostly sunny,
Sure. That's that really fun, weird oddity thing about Florida's weather. If you don't like it, you can take a picture. Here you got bright sunshiny skies without a cloud, and well, with that issue, you're looking at 90 miles south. You've got this tropical storm brewing in and things like that. So.
Well, I'm going to take advantage of this nice, cooler, less humidity weather and do a little backyard work and stuff before I go up there. And let's hope we get another cool front in a couple weeks.
There you go.
Okay, nice talking. Bye.
Bye now. Yeah, on this day, take advantage here. We've got, it didn't, might have got a little rain here and there in some of the neighborhoods and such yesterday, but right now it is nice. Dew should be about dried off. It hasn't gotten hot yet out. If you need to mow, run out there now and get that grass mowed before it gets hot.
I know. I need to again.
Yeah, and because it is one of those kind of things that we could start getting rain again in another day or even this afternoon. We never, like I said, weather predicting is an inexact science. The only being a meteorologist or a weatherman's the only job I've ever heard of that you can be wrong like 80% of the time and still get a good check.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have to deal with politics. I think that's what I should have done. I should have gotten into that kind of broadcasting.
There you go.
By the way, Hugh kind of hinted that we needed more rain here. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, we're still not. We may be getting rain and seems to be plenty of it, but you figure we were 14 inches deficit.
Wow.
Before the beginning of the year. So it's, we haven't caught that up. So we are still in a drought.
And the story on WCJB TV 20 said that Payne's Prairie is flooded. So
well, but even then, you give it a few days, that will probably take in. Yeah, but none of the lakes. We're not hearing that the Swanee River is breaching its banks. You're not hearing that any of the lakes are beginning to come up too high. As far as I know, none of the lakes are coming up past a level or anything like that.
Phone line is open if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. Got about 5 minutes before the bottom of the hour, but this is a full hour show, so you have all the way to the top of the hour, ask away, because this is a good time. If a question requires more lengthy of an answer, then Carol Ann has plenty of time. By the way, I like the pictures that Kathy put on of the frogs. Those are cute looking frogs.
Those are cute little frogs. Yeah.
Do you?
I from the photo, I would have to try to make them bigger. They're small frogs, but I can't tell real good on the coloration to see if they're just the bright green. Whether or not, that's why I asked her, were they Cuban tree frogs or our baby green native tree frogs? Because the Cuban tree frogs are invasive, so we would prefer to see some of the baby.
Does invasive always mean bad? Like
usually, yeah.
Because they eat things.
Right. Tropical is different. A tropical or a non-native is not necessarily bad, but the invasive species are something that is displacing part of the ecosystem. So that's how that differentiates, is that it escapes or...
You have a phone call?
Fantastic.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning again, Larry, Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Little Lake Bryant, Carol Ann, was a foot lower than normal. Is now a foot over normal, and you have to wade the grass just to get in the water.
Well, that's a good thing, but you figure as soon as the rains stop, I bet you that level's going to drop rather quickly, because we're still below.
It probably will, but I hope I don't see it go that low again.
Yeah, let's hope not. But yeah, droughts take a few years to recover from, so it's might drop their part down.
It probably has something to do with how much runoff from around the area that catches.
True.
Because it must have pretty good runoff there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, when you're filling from the neighbors.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the lake in Rainbow Lakes Estates called Lake Bonneville. Because I don't know if you remember me telling you, I went there one time because I had heard it was dried up.
Okay, and
I thought that was an exaggeration.
Right.
But the truth is, I could walk to what used to be the middle, and there was no water at all at that point. But there was kind of a large puddle. But,
in the set,
But it was sad to see something that used to be a lake, that people used to go fishing on, that had become a puddle. It was really weird.
And sometimes a lot of these, some of these lakes that aren't real big or real huge, that they are rainwater fed. And so when we do have a drought, it really does pull, or if sometimes possibly a small sinkhole or something like that opens and it drains that drains that lake out, and next thing you know, you have no water in there.
If I stood outside the window here and I held up a $20 bill and I said, "Does anybody want this?"
Oh, there'd be all kinds of people jumping on it.
I'd have a taker right away.
Oh yeah.
I have a piece of paper that says $20 worth of plants from Bob Wines. It's a gift certificate. It's the exact same value as the $20 bill. And I'm not going to wave it outside the window. I'm going to wave it at my microphone and tell you that if you want it, you can call me right now and I will give it to whoever calls, and I'll just kind of pick up a number at random. I'll take the call during the break. We're up against the break. Don't forget to call if you would like to speak to Carol Ann. We'll do that after the break. But right now, call if you want the $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens and Nursery. And we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A shakeup at the White House as the new chief of staff takes over. Anthony Scaramucci removed as communications director less than 2 weeks into his new job.
John Kelly, a four-star general, was hired to bring discipline back to a West Wing at war with itself. Scaramucci was his first casualty. Kelly wanted Scaramucci out, and the president obliged, tweeting within hours of Scaramucci's exit, "A great day at the White House."
James Matthews with Fox Sister Network Sky News. In Alabama, abortion law requiring minors to get permission from the court is struck down.
Federal Judge Susan Ross Walker sided with the American Civil Liberties Union, writing, "The law imposes undue burdens on girls, violating their rights to a confidential proceeding by allowing the district attorney, witnesses, and others to get involved in opposing her decision to obtain an abortion.
Fox Radio's Lisa Lacera, Fox News. We report, you decide.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone wants the original, the authentic. And with a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the iconic luxury, unparalleled safety, and performance of Mercedes-Benz at a price you can afford. But just remember, only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. And only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer offers an unlimited mileage warranty, so you can drive with confidence as far as you'd like for up to 5 years. There are pre-owned vehicles, and then there are Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through August 31st and receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Hey, this is Dan. Let me ask you a few questions. Does your boat look better with the cover on? Has your car's interior seen its better days? Stop using a towel to cover up those rips in the golf cart. Isn't it about time you had it restored to better than new with a custom upholstery from Captain T? Captain T's Upholstery has been right here in Ocala for nearly 20 years, so they know how to make your ride one of a kind. Whether you want to take that classic ride back to a factory look or put your favorite sports team front and center, Captain T's Upholstery is who to call. 352-369-1810. That's 352-369-1810. Or stop by their location, 5030 South Pine Avenue in Ocala, just past the drive-in. And of course, don't forget to visit them on the web, CaptainTUpholstery.com.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Stay informed on everything going on in the Villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the Villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
An unexpected pregnancy can turn a young woman's life upside down. The House of One in Faith in Ocala gives these young women a place to live in privacy and comfort under the Christian care of counselors who will guide and protect both the woman and her unborn child. The House of One in Faith is confidential, loving, and free. For more information, call 352-687-8895.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Beautiful looking Tuesday morning. And let's return now to Carol Ann Baldwin. The show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann, and you are welcome to call. The number is 622-9622. It doesn't have to be a question. You might want to call and say just hi.
That's it.
How you doing? And I encourage you to go to the Facebook page called In the Garden that Carol Ann created, so that we can all kind of be part of a little family.
Yeah.
Looks like you got 62 people on it now.
And actually, Kathy Snyder, she posted another picture this morning of sod webworm damage, and it is that time of year. And the photo, she's actually pulled that back the grass, and
What's
fantastic photo, sod webworm.
Sod webworm.
and the damage that's being done to that grass blade. You'll start to see areas that starting to turn brown. They can get larger and larger. If when you walk out in the morning and you're walking through your grass to go grab the newspaper and little brown moths start flying up out of your grass, you have sod webworm issues beginning, if not already going on.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. And what it is that that's the adult, is the moth. They're laying their eggs down in the grass, and they hatch out, and they're nice feet. They're feeding on your grass, and they're going to do some damage to it. So again, with anything, it's trying to eliminate them, because they're going to do some damage to the grass. So pay attention to the weather. Always, it's always hard to do, is trying to get your pesticides down when it's not going to rain right away, so that you're not going to wash away what you're doing and, sending insecticides down into the water system and things like that, or just washing it away to where it's not effective. So taking a look, going through, if you want to spot spray versus spray in the whole yard because of the weather, that's a good way too. But go through and scout. As you're mowing the grass, or if you're out in your landscape, taking a look, seeing those areas, you saw that brown patch or something when you go back and take a look. Move those grass blades around. Take a little look. A good thing to carry around or have in your garden bucket or whatever you've got, carry your tools with, is like a little hand lens. Sometimes some things, you really need to take a look. But, her photograph, that's a pretty good enlargement, a really good close-up there to see that damage that's going on. And most insecticides labeled for lawn use are going to take care of that. So you might want to try to take a look, nip it in the bud while it's small, watch for it. It's one of those kind of things. Earlier this week, I shared a link to it's a Bayer website, Bayer thing, but it was a fantastic. I opened it, I read it. It says packaging labels can be overwhelming. It helps if you know what you're looking for, and it was the article that they have on here is to make it easier to identify where to apply your active ingredients and all kinds of things. And it's get more from the blue bottle. Trying to see. Actually, it's just the BayerAdvance.com website, but you should be able to open it. Just click on it if you're on the Facebook page, and go to that site. And it really did put it in layman's terms on what you're reading, and they kept it kind of generic. So if Bayer isn't your favorite flavor of insecticides and stuff, it's still, the information still pertains to any pesticide that you're using. And they even make the mention that even though natural or organic products are not necessarily the safe, you have to still read that label to apply it properly. To apply it to where you're not, some excuse me, will still target or have, will target pests that you're not trying to hurt. I mean, one of my favorite insecticides I have to be very careful with, even though it's an organic, it's toxic to bees. So I have to be very careful on how I use it and when I use it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, because I don't want to kill the bees, because they're the ones pollinating my vegetables. That kind of stuff. So it's one of those kind of things.
So the manufacturers of that stuff must really trust us, because if we don't use it as it's directed, then we cause harm.
And really, it's not the manufacturer. The manufacturer goes through and they come up, they do their testing, they do everything, and the EPA approves those labels. And that's why sometimes products, and over a certain period of time, some of those products need to go back through testing and prove their effectiveness still. Because you figure over time, sometimes pests become immune. To certain things, just like we as human beings have become, or the bugs we get, our germs and things like that, have become immune to the antibiotics that we take. Same thing with pests, that because they reproduce so quickly, they can become immune to the pesticides we use. So every so often, these companies have to put their products back through the EPA rigors and check their labeling, that maybe it's not effective anymore, maybe they need to change their formulation, or if they wish to change their formulation, it will, list the pests and things like that. And one part on there, and it's always my thing, is the label's the law. That's what it was put in there. All of those were written out. The instructions were there for a reason, and it is so that if you follow these directions and use this product properly as directed, you're not harming yourself or your environment. So that's your biggest thing. But it's a pretty neat link. I found it interesting. That's why I shared it on the page. So. I no longer work for them, but I still think that that was a really good thing. And I do know I've seen that a lot of products, and I'm sure it is from the pressure from the public. So when people speak up, they are heard. That a lot of things are changing in the lines of a lot of these pesticides right now. I've seen a lot of it. Some of it I'm not necessarily that happy about because those who use products correctly are now losing an option on some things that have been shown to be safe and effective when used properly, but unfortunately, too many people don't read the labels.
Right. Or think they know better than the label.
Or think they know better than the label, or right. That's if it says 2 teaspoons in a gallon, why can't I put a 1/4 cup? It's because one, you're wasting money, pretty much.
I have a question based on labels. Let's say you go to the big box store and you find a product and you look at the label and it says 90% water, and then the active ingredient is 3%. Whatever.
Right.
So could a person actually go buy that whatever and then just mix water with it?
Actually, you can. In the big box stores, you're going to find it normally at its concentrations. Like say it's an indoor pest control thing. Most of those are going to be ready to use. There are a few concentrates out there, but if you notice, they're very small bottles. And that little 1.5 ounce bottle makes up to 2 gallons of spray. Well, when you mix and you dump that into that 2-gallon sprayer, you're making 2 gallons of the stuff you would have bought off the shelf.
Right.
Yes, you are adding your own.
Is it cheaper to do it that way?
Sometimes, if you have your own sprayer. But the thing is you don't take that bottle and mix it in a quart, because then it's too strong. You may be breathing fumes, and that's what some people do. Same thing with the outdoor products. That's why a lot of the indoor stuff is all ready to go, because some of them do still have an odor. A lot of them, it's been lessened or whatever. They are water based, so that they don't stain your carpeting and your paint and things like that in your house. Or why a lot of people will use them on the outside of the home. If I'm going to use it on the outside of my house, I'm buying one that's what's meant for outside, because it's going to last longer. The indoor pest controls used outside are going to last a matter of days, not weeks and months. The ones for outside are going to last more of weeks and months versus, but you can't use them inside. Read the directions. There are many concentrates that can be mixed with water, and like you say, you'll see that the active ingredient is 1% and there's 99% the other. Well, because you can't buy that small amount. They can't put that into something that you could handle. Now, if you go to sometimes farm supply stores or you kill them kind of places where you're getting something that would be commercially used, you can buy those vials. You're going to pay a lot. You're going to pay a bit more for those because you're only using a teaspoon in that gallon of water.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we've come up against another break. Let's take that break. We'll be right back. The phone line, if you want to call in, is 622-9622. Carolyn will be right back answering your questions in about 2.5 minutes. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and some intervals of sunshine on this Tuesday with a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the area. High 87 to 91. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with a shower or thunderstorm along the coast. Low 71 to 75. Times of clouds and sun for Wednesday with a hit or miss thunderstorm, a high 87 to 91. Thursday, more clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Did you call Mike Scott Plumbing about the irrigation?
No, but did you know a crocodile can't stick its tongue out? Or that Humpty Dumpty rhyme never actually says he's an egg? or that Chuck Norris counted to infinity. Twice.
Where the hell do you come up with these facts? And what's that have to do with the lawn?
Nothing really, just hoping you'd forget what you told me to do.
Well, here's a fact. Just like an elephant, I never forget. And here's another fun fact for you. If my plants die because you didn't call Mike Scott Plumbing to come over and install an irrigation system, you're going to be the one out there all night with a hose.
Well, as a matter of fact, I think I'll call Mike Scott Plumbing right now.
Now that's a fact.
237-2888.
Yes, 237-2888. Because if...
I know. If water runs through it, they do it. Did you know honeybees have 5 eyes?
Oh, brother, you're going to do this all night now, aren't you?
Or that a strawberry's not actually a berry, but a banana is? Or that Chuck Norris killed 2 stones with 1 bird? Or that polar bears are left-handed?
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
The best way to show you're interested in a company is to do your research. Well, here's how to let go of bad memories once and for all. We want you to picture the comments being said and then picture yourself walking into another room. Wearing formal work clothing also makes people more focused and they're better able to power through projects and get promoted.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this.
Hey, how come the word was cut off there? Carol Ann Baldwin is here. The phone line is 622-9622. We'd love to hear from you. And just if I could put in a plug for your Facebook page. Sure. I love the Facebook page. I'm part of a community.
You're part of a community.
I'm part of a community, yes.
Yeah. And if anybody, if you're I guess you can probably peek at it before you join it, or this kind of thing. You just can't post unless you join. But you'll see there's no advertising.
That's good.
Yeah, there's not. It's not advertising.
I'm not selling my apple tree.
You're not selling your apple tree. Kathy's not selling sod webworms. It's
Right.
The only thing it's been shared where and that's why it's a closed group. And actually, I belong to a couple other groups that have recently closed their public because of suddenly they're getting things from foreign countries because you'll get stuff where people that'll just start shooting in that they're trying to join groups, and it's in order to try to get.
So do you get a lot of that?
Now I don't. No, because this is not a public group.
Oh, I see.
They're not going to ask to join a private, a closed group. So
I gotcha.
That's why it's closed. I mean, and like I said, I'm on
Carolyn
a couple
is
other
the
groups.
gatekeeper. You're the gatekeeper.
I'm the gatekeeper. If you have friends who you think you want to join and you want to suggest them, if it's something, we're just trying to keep it to where it deals here within Ocala, Marion County. If your friend lives in Georgia or New York, I don't mind especially if they're ones who visit back and forth and they like to garden. Fantastic. Love to have them on board as members of the family on the Facebook page.
Does the agricultural, especially the flower part of what you do, does it go through like fads? Like, is there a is there a trendy?
Oh yeah. At times I haven't seen too many right now. Well, a lot of the trend actually went to organic gardening. People getting away from pesticides. Crepe myrtles were the biggest fad, for a long time here in this area.
Yeah, sure.
There's still someone. The knockout rose was another one that really blew through. For a few years, that was all that was getting planted. In landscapes and stuff, and now a lot of it has gone to lower maintenance. They don't use the xeriscaping terminology anymore, mostly because it's a trademarked thing, and it doesn't need to be xeriscaping. It's more like a Florida-friendly landscaping, even though, again, that's another trademark terminology, but that you're planting the right plants in the right place. And so a lot of this all comes through. Some of these fads are good. That it's, learning and just changing the way we garden and landscape and things like that. But
so can I ask you, was you said the what was the rose you just said? The
knockout
rose.
Knockout rose.
Wasn't there one called the Confederate rose?
Confederate rose is actually within the hibiscus type family, the mallow family.
And that was popular for a while.
That was popular for a while. I think some reason that it popped out of that friendly, so much is because it's a whitefly attractor. It's just something you don't find them growing too much in too many nurseries because of having to deal with the whitefly issue. Without having to do a lot of spraying and maintenance on such like that. They're a great plant. I love them. They're fantastic. They're beautiful.
So where do the whiteflies live now?
Oh, they'll be on other plants, but it's just like that one just, boom, in a nursery situation.
Oh, God,
you don't want, you've got 150 of these growing in your nursery for sale, and you're having to keep a maintenance and scouting for this pest issue because you're not allowed to let pests out of your nurseries. You're not supposed to. People
that's not easy.
It's not. It's not. But that's why there's inspectors. That's why there's that's why nurseries have to use pesticides a lot of times, is because they can't let those diseases go from the commercial nursery to the retail nursery to the homeowner. And, so
you got to be careful.
You have to be careful. So when you're buying plants to put into a butterfly garden and things like that, my recommendation is usually don't buy them when you need them. Buy them in early enough, and so that you can quarantine those plants you bring in, keep them away from your other, and where you can water and rinse plants off and things like that, and before you put them out in there. Only because you don't know when they may have been treated. But the nursery, 100 miles, 200 miles away from you, isn't allowed to let a pest issue. He's not allowed to let aphids come out of his nursery into the garden center that are then going to come in.
Does he get in trouble if he does?
Oh yeah, they will.
Really?
Yeah, they can have things come back on them where they're destroying
who
the state of
that?
Florida.
Oh,
the state does. Yeah, that's why you're not allowed to transport plants across certain areas. That's why there's agricultural inspection stations and things like that.
Yeah, I was driving through Texas one time, and I had to stop for an agricultural check. And later on, I wondered if it wasn't just called that, but it was really an illegal alien check.
That's yeah. Well, and sometimes I guess it can be. I mean, years ago, I know when I was a kid, and we used to camp I lived in New Jersey, but we'd come to Virginia or come down to Florida, and if you had a camper, you had to go pass through the agricultural stops because they were looking for.
There used to be one in Bellevue, wasn't there?
The gypsy moth. Yeah, well, that was a truckway station.
Oh, okay.
But that they were looking for gypsy moth caterpillars underneath vehicles.
Really?
Yeah, that when you're crossing, because they were trying to eradicate or trying to get a control on that or prevent them from being spread from one state to another. So that's where some of that.
By the way, did you hear there was a story this morning about a little girl who was in a class, and her class was making little things for their project to make something out of Legos.
Okay.
So somebody made a little bug or a tree or a person. Right. She took one little Lego, put it on top of the box, and she called it a worm.
Wow.
That's her project.
That's her project. I guess that's an imagination, but it's kind of a cheap way out.
It's a worm.
It's a worm.
Yeah.
I mean, but worms do have a front and a back, so she needed to put some kind of head on there because otherwise it was actually just a stick.
Yeah.
In a way. But that's just that's kind of fun. Yeah, creating the nature out of toys. Just a quick one, our Marion County Master Gardener Plant Clinics, of course, Monday through Friday from 10 to 4. The Raymond McNeil Plant Clinic at the Extension Office is when that's open, so Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Downtown Farmers Market, first Saturday of each month from 9 to 1, so that'll be this Saturday, August the 5th.
We had a topic the other day, how chefs shop. How chefs shop, and they will shop always at farmers markets.
Lots of farmers markets, exactly, because they're looking for the fresh products. Dunellen Public Library, first Tuesday of each month, which would be today. So if you're in Dunellen, you can hightail it over to the Dunellen Public Library from 10 to 1. And the Bellevue Public Library is the first and third Fridays of each month from 10 to 1. So this Friday and the third Friday down there in Bellevue. So if you can't get into the Raymond McNeil Plant Clinic in Ocala, you've got a couple different locations you can go to. You can join the Facebook page and get on there and ask a question, post a photo, or you can always call the show.
You can always call the show.
You can always call the show.
Speaking of which, if you want to call, you got to call now because Carol Ann is about 3.5 minutes away from having to say goodbye. So we got 3.5 minutes.
We got 3.5 minutes. We can answer a question or two.
Call, say hi, 622-9622.
Right.
So is there a way to stimulate a tree that's not bearing fruit to start bearing fruit?
Yeah, have I never told that story on this?
Oh, is it whipping the thing?
That's the beating the trees.
Oh, yeah.
Beat your trees, and it has. And I think we've had one of our listeners.
Ray.
has called back
Ray
and said
has
that it does work, and I've had customers come into the store and say yes that it does. You know.
I don't want to beat my apple tree though.
He's a little small. He needs to be a few years older, and you may need a pollinator for it.
I've got to write down somewhere that thing started in April of 2017. I may not remember that.
You need to make a little tag, right on the tag, and then every so often you may have to just update it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What is that white, like dusty looking powder on the outside of the?
On the outside of the pot?
Yeah.
That's just probably scale from water.
The water
years.
doing that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
That's just it. Yeah, it's not kind of gives it a patina of age. The pot does,
A patina of age.
Yes, like the copper out there on the statues. The green on their legs. And
patina.
Stuff. A patina.
What is
What's
the word mean? Patina.
It's a
look.
Yeah, I guess
patina.
It's a look. Patina.
What kind of patina do I have? I can't imagine
being the host.
I can't imagine I have a patina at all.
At anything. Depends on how we dress.
There you go. I better improve my patina.
Watch your step there. No, that it's just everybody be careful. Be mindful of the weather and such like that out there, so that you're staying hydrated. Watch the weather. That if you're in need of putting product down, we're still not ready to put lawn fertilizers down. If you find you really want to put something down to green the lawn, something as an iron source, a Milorganite, an Ironite, a Super Iron Plus, the Black Velvet. I think Black Velvet will go through a spreader better than a Black Cow kind of thing will. And just that's, a product of the mushroom industry that'll put through, that'll actually nourish the lawn, the soil versus trying to actually feed. I mean, it'll feed the grass too, but instead of increasing growth, because we're not having any problem with grass growing right now, so you don't want to do any of that, and we don't want the runoff for it. So just pay attention to weather. Pay attention, read and follow your label instructions. Drink the bottle of water, before you go out, and have a great gardening week.
By the way, I think we drink too much water. I came to a conclusion.
We're
the only creature on God's earth that uses a cup.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to crawl around and go drink out of the puddle in the street.
And if we had to, we wouldn't be drinking much water, would we?
Only because we don't. If we had a faucet, you got your hands.
Thank you, Carolina.
Thanks, Larry.
Fun. All right, hang in there. Matt Gibbs is up next. We're going to talk about your car, your automobile. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.